Well, hello everyone, this is Bonsert. I know you might be expecting another SCP related video, but no. But don't worry, they're coming. However, I have been to Spiel this weekend in Essen, Germany. Spiel is to board and card gamers what E3 is to video gamers. There are all these board game companies, both mainstream, as well as all these small-time one-man companies. So there is a lot to see here, a lot of innovation, everything there is to do about board games, card games, solo games as well, which seems to be an ever-growing market. And of course, a lot of Kickstarters. So that's why I decided to throw this in here. Now, Spiel is still fresh in everybody's memory. And I went around with my Samsung mobile phone and started asking game creators who are making steampunk or Dystopian related board games and give me an elevator pitch. So this is basically what this game is. Now, some of these games have been released a while back, others are still in development, their Kickstarters are still happening. So have a look at their products. I'll try to include all of the links down below and the time codes when these people do their pitch as well. Also, in the meantime, I'm also trying to invite these people on podcasts so they can talk a little bit about their games, their Kickstarters, if they're still relevant, and of course, you know, their creative processes, how did they develop these games, where they get their inspirations from. But before you start listening to this video, I was recording at a convention, so there's a lot of background noise, so my apologies for that. I'll try to bring my proper recording equipment with me next time. Now, with that out of the way, let's go to our wonderful game developers.
Hey guys, welcome to the year 1947, and the World War II still rages on. We're here to play Dust 1947, a miniatures game, which is a hybrid of miniature gaming and tabletop, and also board gaming in the classic style. You'll see lots of miniatures, which are part of sci-fi, part of anachronism, historical stuff, and we also have some alien twist with Cthulhu methods. And we're here to play today. We do it on board with very special faction dice, some terrain elements and miniatures, which are available as kits, as primed, built, assembled models, and also in the premium pre-painted version like this. And we do 3 blocks, which are the main participants of World War II, so the Axis, the Allies, and the Sino-Soviets, so a new block. There's also mercenaries and the Mythos block, who is the reawakened Cthulhu monsters and their cultists. And in this game, we play for world domination and VK, which is an alien kind of fuel. It allows to resurrect zombies, to build laser guns, to build walkers, and the foes, and also heavy infantry with laser guns, and the jetpack soldiers. Those wars are now fought. We're here at Essen for War Factory, who does European distribution for Dust, the game, and we are happy to meet everyone here. And if you're interested in tournaments, in buying the game, seeing the game, playing the game, demoing the game, we are addressed in Europe. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Sebastian Makowski, the owner for Microhead Studio, and we're making Wolsung, the skirmish steampunk games. The game is very simple. You normally play with 5 or 6 models, no more, and we have different clubs, and each club have different rules. We have special rules that you choose your character models. So you choose from 1, 2, or 3 character models, and every character model have extra points, and this point you can spend for your helper. So very strong characters have less points for helper, and small, like just old guy in chairs, like here, they have more points to spend for the helper. And the game is very simple. It's always with 6 dices, and on 4+ you have on 1 success. And it depends how many dice you roll, and to make it more interesting, the characters models can use cards, normal poker cards, and the cards are used in different ways. you can add your.
Do you have examples of those cards?
Yeah, this is normal cards. This is we make these cards to make it more steampunk style, but you can use normal cards. And the cards are used in different ways. One thing, to add extra success to your roll. So if I shoot to you and have 2 success, I can put 2 or 3 cards. Red cards are for shooting and black cards are for fighting. And I have this extra power, you can say. This is one way. The second way is to, if you want to jump, making so really heroic action, something like this, jumping from this roof here. Normally you cannot do this, but if you use a card, each hero have special cards on this.
It reminds me a bit of Mali Foe. They also use the card system.
Yeah, it's true, but I think it's a little different. And if you use one of your cards, then you can make this extra movement. So extra, like we want to make a little like films. So jump from the window, or climb on the wall, something like this. But only the heroes. Heroes are extra power guys, and the helpers are normal people.
Right,
you can say. Next, some models use magic. The cards is used in magic phase. You have 5 or 6 cards in your hand. So the possibility varies very great. So you must really choose very careful what cards you use for what thing, because it's all what you have. Another thing very interesting is you can push the model, you can drive a car, you can I don't know, jump from window on another model with the if you are robots very heavy, you can jump on another model and crash them, something like this. Very crazy and funny action.
All right. Well, thank you a lot for this explanation.
Hello, I'm Chris Bond. I'm from Warcradle Studios. I'd like to talk to you about Wild West Exodus and Dystopian Wars. Both of our games are set in the same universe. It's an alternate history steampunk world where we have a huge global conflict going on, which is represented by Dystopian Wars, which is a naval battle. And then we have Wild West Exodus, which is a smaller skirmish style game set in the same world, which has 8 different factions. It has something for everyone. It has lawmen, it has outlaws, it has Wyatt Earp, Jesse James, Billy the Kid, Doc Holliday. We've got robots, we've got zombies, we've got aliens. You name it, there's something for everybody within the game. It's an alternate activation game with random action points. It's very fast, it's very streamlined. Games can tend to take between an hour to 2 hours to play, and it can also scale up very well. So if you wanted to have a bigger game with more factions and more players, it's easy to do. So Dystopian Wars is a very small scale naval combat game where we have enormous ships with devastating weapons who duke it out on the high seas. The game again is alternate activations. The interesting thing about Dystopian Wars is the fact that weapons can be grouped together and you can combine fire to either pick off smaller targets with individual gunnery, or you can combine shots together to take out some of the larger ships. We have submarines, we have airships, we have fighters and bombers, there are torpedoes, there are Tesla weapons, we have of a whole variety of devastating equipment for different ships to attack each other. There are objectives for every game and you play to victory points. And one of the similarities we have with Dystopian Wars and Wild West Exodus is our card system. The cards can either be used for an in-game benefit to gain a particular bonus to do some cool stuff, or you can use it to score victory points to help you win the game overall. We have dice, an interesting dice mechanism within Dystopian Wars, where if you roll a 6, not only does it score 2 hits, but you get to roll an extra dice.
It's Daniel from Ludic Creations, and I'm going to present you Crisis. Crisis takes place in a dystopian future in the state of Exia. And Exia is nearly financial broke and on the brink of ruin. And we play investors to help the state out. So the core mechanic of this game is worker placement. So you have these managers here, and you place them on the board. There are specific areas here on the board. Here you can gather workers. These workers you can send to your facilities or industries you buy here. And if you buy an industry, you set them aside to your play area and you try to build an engine. Like this industry here, you need a mechanic and you need minerals to get energy. And with these energies, you can spend in other industries to get other stuff. Here you can buy other resources. Here you can transform resources to energy. And here you can sell your produced goods to either the state of Exia. This gets you victory points and a small amount of money. You can also sell them on the black market to get even more money, but you don't score any victory points because you're not helping the state. And here you can fulfill contracts to also get victory points and money. The twist in this game is every player has to fulfill a special amount of victory points each round. So in this case, we are in the 4th round, and every player has to score like 35 victory points. As you can see, some players have overfilled or not even close fulfilled this criteria. So in this case, Red has more victory points than he needs to. So he scores 3 points more. That means the financial status of Exia rises by 3 points. But the other players aren't doing it that well. So the financial status of Exia decreases that amount they have to. So whenever this marker reaches 0, every player loses immediately. And no one wants it. And after 7 rounds, the player with the most victory points wins the game.
Alright.
So it's a game for 1 to 5 players. The playing time is like 20 minutes per player roughly. And there's also playable solo, but there aren't any solo variants, so you can just play it as the game tells you.
Okay, thank you. But I understood from this there's also a cooperative element to the game?
That's right. So the global goal of this game is not that every player wants that the status of Exia is like in the yellow or the green area. So this affects either elements on this game here. So in the first action is you draw an event card, and if the state is in a good status, you draw green event cards that aren't that harmless. But if the financial status of Exia is going down, also the events are going to be worse.
I see. Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Hi there, I'm Riccardo from Cranio Creations, Italy, and we are presenting here Barrage, our new board game live now on Kickstarter. Barrage is a heavy board game, it's a worker placement game set in an alternate 1920 Europe in which all fossil fuels are depleted, so players are in charge of a different hydroelectric company, and they need to build a complex structure to be able to exploit water from the French Alps. Barrage means dam in French, it's a French word. They need to put their workers on the map or on the playing board in order to build something, in order to activate energy production, in order to push forward and meet the demands of the cities. It is designed by Tommaso Battista and Simone Luciani. They are here with us today at Essen 2018. The artwork is made by Antonio De Luca. You may know him for a lot of other beautiful design in games, RPG games, and even video games. We present here the base game, the expansion, and of course we give the possibility to people to enter a small contest here for Hessen. The Kickstarter campaign is active, is going pretty well. We need your support to push it forward and have a look at the board. This is of course not even a pre-production copy, it's just the prototype with the final artwork. Each player gets to use a different faction board that is unique. Each faction board comes with a executive officer card that is different for each game. This is the map, and each other player gets the possibility to build something using the construction wheel. It's a pretty clever way to manage resources, because in this game when you build something you don't actually spend any resource, you just commit it to a certain building, and then you need to perform a full recover cycle on that building action before you're able to do it again. So it's a pretty heavy game. It takes 30 minutes per player to play. It goes by 5 rounds. It has a lot of player interaction. It is suitable between 2 and 4 players, and we really hope to unlock the solo mode of the game mode in no time. The game is here. Please come here, try the game. Tried it online on Tabletopia, and if you like it, pledge it and vote in on Boardgame Geek. Thank you so much for your time. We really enjoyed it. Bye.
Hi, I'm Pini. I am the game designer for Steampirates. This is a steampunk style game that is dice driven, where you play a pirate. And of course, as a pirate, you want to be rich. You want to bribe the right people so they can help you, and you try to be as notorious as you can. You'll get your sail ship that flies among the floating islands, and you will do the best you can to be the richest in Materia, to be the most notorious in Materia, and to be better than all the other pirates. Have fun.
Hey guys, my name's Az. I'm the community and communications manager for Mythic Games, and we're just going to stop in here at our booth at Spiel to talk a little bit about Reichbusters. So this is our brand new Kickstarter that's coming out on the 20th of November. This is going to be our weird World War II, over-the-top Allied heroes going and infiltrating the bases of evil Vrillmeisters, these Nazis that are trying to use technology to take over the world. We have some beautiful minis down here for you guys, and people are trying to get all over them. They want them so badly. So I'm going to show you a couple if you want to come down. We have down here, we have some of our Allied heroes. We have one of our British gunners and our Norwegian berserker, who is a real preview. We haven't shown him off before. And over here we have some of our basic, this is one of our Nazi soldiers, but we also have the experimental versions where these troops have been mutated and turned into monstrosities for combat, or even after they're dead, they've had Vril embodied into their armor to reanimate their bodies and bring them back to life against their will. Over here we have one of the Vrillmeisters himself. This is General Wolf. He's a horrible guy who's using the Vril technology to make this uber soldier mechanized armor that they're hoping to use to kind of turn the tide of the war. And the idea is that you've got to go as a Reichbuster behind enemy lines, working together in a co-op board game to find out the secrets, stop the research, and try and prevent the world from falling to this Vrillmeister technology. So it's coming to Kickstarter on the 20th of November. It's going to be a 10-day campaign, quite small. You can check it out, and we'll have some gameplay on there so you guys can see that too.
Alright, awesome. From what price does the Kickstarter go for the full game?
So the core box, first of all, will be around $100, so very manageable, and we're hoping to do the all-in for the whole entire product for around $200.
Alright, thank you.
Hello, I'm Jose Mendez from Scale Games, and I'm here to present you Smog Riders. And you see, this is a board game, a dungeon crawler for 4 players. One player is a defender of the base, and the other attackers need to get inside of the base and in this mission rob the bank. Okay, but it's a semi-cooperative game. Only one of the players win, so the attackers need to help themselves and after that they had to fight for the gold. We have these wonderful models, as you can see, steampunk chibis, really cool.
Steampunk chibis. That's what I noticed. It's very aesthetically very different from all the other Dystopian steampunk here.
Yeah, we also have something very special because it's not only the base. You also have the Stygian dimension. This is a parallel dimension where players can jump, opening a gate, and if they reach the entrance of the eye, they can teleport everywhere in the board. That's why they are called Smog Riders. There are different missions, many ways to play, changing the teams.
All right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hi, I'm Adam Wise. I am Logistics and Development for Roxley Games, and I'm going to show you about Brass, Lancashire. You've got it here at Essen. This is the deluxe version of the game. It comes with the iron clay poker chips here. This is your money. So let's go to the board and I'll show you a little bit about how it works. You are building industries in industrial era England and canals to connect these cities. Each player starts with all these industry tiles on their player board. So there's 5 different industries and you work your way up building from bottom to top. You're spending cards from your hand to build industries in different locations. So certain cards will allow you to build in that city. Every one of these industries will work in different ways. A coal mine, when it's placed on the board, will provide coal to all players. Any player can use the coal that I have provided on the board. Certain industries will require this coal. So our ironworks here requires both coal and money to be built. So if another player, we have the yellow player, is building this ironworks, as long as there's a connection to a source of coal, he can use my coal that I provided and build his ironworks and provide iron on the map in a similar way. I want, as the owner of this coal mine, I want this coal to be used up. When it is, I flip it over. This will give me points and income. That's what you're trying to do in the game. Activate your industries. You do that by flipping them over. And each one will flip over in a slightly different way. This income will allow my income level to go up. And with every round, I get more money that will be coming in residually from that coal that I sold. So you're connecting out all these industries, trying to activate these things, sell your cotton and your iron and your coal. In the first half of the game, you build this network of canals. After the halfway point of the game, technology advances and you go into the rail era. So at this time, all these canals are obsolete. So they're all removed from the board. In the second half of the game, you have to build rail lines now to reconnect these industries and move your goods around. So you'll be spending more and you'll be spending coal cubes to build rail lines at this point. And you want to have the most points after the 2 eras of the game. There's a couple other elements going on, but that's the short elevator pitch for Brass.
Hello, my name is Paul Saxberg. I'm a community manager for Roxley Games, and I'm going to tell you about Steampunk Rally. Welcome to the world of Steampunk Rally. This is a fantastical racing game in which you have real-life inventors from history. So we've got Ada Lovelace here. There are 16 in the game, and they are doing a crazy race through the Swiss Alps to prove who's the best inventor. You start with a very simple machine. So you see Ada Lovelace has a cockpit and an engine and nothing else. But as the game goes, you're going to be drafting new parts off these piles. That's how you get new stuff to build into a fantastic racing contraption. So during the drafting phase, if I want to take these brakes, I just draft them and I install them on my machine. I can rearrange this freely anytime I like to make room. So I'll pass these to the next player, get cards from them as well, and now maybe I want to draft the ion thrusters so I can move with them. So again, I just install them wherever I like. Now the parts do not power themselves. So the other option I have during the draft is I can take this card and I can sell it instead. In this case for 2 steam or for 2 cogs. Cogs are kind of like the money of the game, and the steam are these dice here, which are going to power steam parts. You also have heat and electricity dice in the game. And maybe I sell those for the cogs. So at the end of the draft phase, you're going to have something that looks kind of like this. The other players are doing this at the same time. Then you're going to use these dice to power the parts. You're going to roll them, and each card is like a little formula. It tells you what it does, so the steam turbine will move you with this wheel. It wants blue dice, so it wants steam, and it wants at least 3 pips. So this 2 is not enough to activate it. However, the cogs let you mitigate the randomness a bit. So I can spend a cog to change that 2 into a 3. Or I can spend a cog to re-roll it completely. So that gives you some options. So putting this on here, we'll move Ada Lovelace 1 space down the track. If we put a 6 on there, it'll trigger it twice. She'll move down there twice. And you can mix and match the dice. I can put a 1 and a 2 on there together. We've got a lot of flexibility, a lot of options. Some of the parts will do different things. This one here, for example, will get you a shield and a new red die. Shields are important because you're going to get a lot of damage in this game. Every time you go over a mountain, you take damage. Some of the parts will do damage too. We got rocket boosters here that are unstable, will actually shake up your machine while you're using them. There are some dirty tricks in this deck that you can play on the other players that will cause them damage. If you start taking damage, you start chopping parts off your machine. You lose too many parts, you explode, go back to the back of the pack. So that's the flow of the game: drafting, installing, activating, racing. Drafting, installing, activating, racing. And she'll play this until somebody crosses the finish line. You get one last turn, burn as far as you can down the track. The furthest player down the track is the winner. If it's a tie, biggest machine. 2 to 8 players, takes about an hour to play.
Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I'm sorry for the sound quality and also, of course, the really sloppy camera work. But again, I had to keep my camera real close to make sure that the game creators themselves were at least audible. So that explains the fidgety camera work there. So what do you think? What are your favorite steampunk related games? Do any of these games fancy your interest? Are you considering backing their Kickstarters? Also, of course, let me know if you want me to review board games again, because it has been a while since I've done that. I'm just really busy and I still have a full-time day job I have to attend to. So apologies. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for listening, and of course, make things your way.